Good morning and welcome to today's webinar, How to Install 200 Showers a Year. My name is Chanel Wilson and I am the Marketing Manager at Best Bath. Best Bath is a shower and tub manufacturing that distributes nationwide gift dealers. Before we get started, I want to invite you all to ask questions throughout this presentation, and we will have a Q&A at the end of the session. If you look at your menu at the bottom of the screen, you can see where you can ask questions. Additionally, if for some reason you have to leave the session early or you missed the beginning of the recording, you will be receiving a copy of this recording. So now I'd like to introduce you to our presenter, Marcus Cook with All Pro Remodeling. He has over 26 years of remodeling experience, is an authorized Best Bath installer, and he will be sharing with us how he sells and installs 200 showers per year. Welcome, Marcus Cook.
Thanks for joining us today. I wanted to talk a little bit about my process before, during, and after the remodel. I'm a co-owner of All Pro Refinishing and Remodeling, and we actually have 20 employees. We have 3 divisions, and I run the remodeling side. We have basically six employees on our remodeling side. And I don't know, some of you guys probably know me from Best Bath. I worked there for 18 years. Teaching install and running the factory and some other items while I was there. I left about 2.5 years ago, and we grew pretty quick. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do and basically kind of went after it. Last year to date, we did 160 showers. This year we're slated to do 200 to 250. With some marketing and some other items that we've added. I do a lot of social media, a lot of before and after photos and things like that. So I want to walk you through my process, and that's allowed us to create the system to allow us to grow so quickly. So we'll talk a little bit before the remodel. A lot of times we just go in and we ask the right questions. Is this are you just doing this remodel to resell your house? Are you doing it to be able to stay home? Do you have accessibility needs? We want to know what your style preferences are. This particular one you're looking at, they specifically ask for a composite shower. So what better fit than a Best Bath in this situation? We typically go into these things, and what's the first question they ask is how much? How much is it? And so a lot of times I just go in and straightforward tell them right up front, we're going to charge you a fair price, and this is my price, period. And so we don't have that back and forth communication, the negotiating and things like that. A lot of times if they want to do their own painting, or if they just don't have the money and they want to do some of the work, the equity part of that, then we will allow that. I believe that creates and establishes a better relationship from the start. If you charge a fair price, if the customer comes back to you and says, hey, I had 4 other quotes and yours is higher, and it is what it is. We just tell them, well, then go ahead and go with that installer. Because I think, if I come back and I say, well, I can knock $1,000 off of this, then, you're gonna kind of burn your bridge right up front, and that normally, creates issues. Knowing the product, we don't only do Best Bath products. We do custom showers a lot. We do a lot of cultured marble. We do a lot of tile. But knowing the space, when we get into a space and we know that it's an odd shape or something like that, a lot of times we have to go with other products. But when we're doing a Best Bath, I always try to put the biggest shower we can in so that we can create, if you put a larger shower in, you can, cut the sheetrock up a little higher than the nailing flange on the Best Bath. So you don't have to do sheetrock repair, repainting, things like that. Also, your flooring. You don't have to redo the flooring. if you put a bigger shower in, a lot of times you can set it right on top of the existing flooring, and especially if the flooring is in good shape. And you get to keep you get as much space as you can actually give the customer a little more space than they need. If you look at this photo here, you'll see there's actually a gap between the flooring and the shower. So a lot of times you can either use a piece of cord around there, or you can pull it forward and shim the whole shower forward. In this case, we were using a flange trim kit, so we had a 1/2 inch of give. So we actually shimmed the whole base and everything forward to the existing flooring. You got to know, knowing your product. Again, like I said, we don't only do the best bath products, but we know a lot about it. I worked there 18 years, so I know about the heights and the widths and the depths and everything. So it's really easy to find a product that'll work in most situations because there's so many different sizes. This particular shower, had soap dishes in it. We had to go into that window, as you can see, but a lot of times the window comes down a lot further. So we would have to maybe use a flat back shower or something like that, so we can cut into the wall down lower. But no two showers are the same anywhere we've been. So learning your features and your options and things like that are a real big benefit, so that when you're in the house, you can discuss the benefits with the customer, why they want to do a flat back or why they want to do tile recess. We do a tile recess pocket because it's waterproof. Virtually, you never are ever going to have a leak with the tile recess pockets. We use Best Bath as an example a lot of times, because when we rip a tile shower out, it's because the tile is bad. Maybe we've gone in to maybe just install a grab bar for them, and when we're installing the grab bar, the tile starts falling off the walls. So a lot of times, that's because they never ever went and resealed it. I'm guilty. I had a tile shower, tile tub. I never ever resealed it, and I'm a contractor. So, it's really easy to forget what you need to do to maintain your products. And Best Bath is just really simple and easy to maintain. During the remodel, one of the things we like to do is just be really prepared. My guys know right up front, what do you do first? Shut the water off. Because if you don't shut the water off, there's plumbers are funny, because a lot of times plumbing's coming up from places you don't realize it's there, and so you might nick a pipe or something like that. And I've worked for other contractors doing their work or showing them how to do a shower, and we've had them nick pipes and things like that. Saving the plumbing cutouts is big. A lot of times, your guys misdrill it, have the wall upside down, they misdrill it. If you can save the plumbing cutouts, it's a lot easier to repair. We're pretty lucky. So we have a full refinishing side. So if we mess something up, I'd make a phone call and have somebody come fix it. But, and we've done it. It's not hard to do. Always read the instructions. Our plumber's funny, because he'll pull out the mowing instructions, and I kind of laugh about it because we put so many valves in, but he always will take the time to read the instructions. And Best Bath actually sends a packet with, some great information in there, where to, put your AQA flanges when you're hanging your curtain rods and things like that. So if you look through those pamphlets, don't just toss them. I mean, they're pretty important. We actually, again, we're pretty lucky. We have a repair company, so, but you can get a repair kit. So if you guys chip something or scratch it, you can actually get a repair kit, so you have it on hand on your trailer or in your, in your truck or whatever. And the nice little tip for that is keep it in the refrigerator. Keep it cool, keep it, and it'll last forever, basically. If you leave it in your truck in the summer, it's basically going to go to waste. So as you see in this photo here, we always protect the floor. We have 100 tarps. We want to put them down on new carpet, old carpet. It doesn't really matter, but that's one of the first things we do as well. You'll see in one photo there where we're taping the closet off with some plastic. I try to minimize the dust. We try to minimize any type of, anything that's going to cause a bunch of rework at the end, or me having to hire a cleaning company or whatever to come in and clean. It's really helpful to do that. Saving time, time is money. And for us, I hear it a lot. People will say, well, you can't do a shower in a day. And, we don't compromise our quality. We take our time, but we use things like the trim kit, the flange trim kit, the Best Bath sells. That saves us time. It saves us time, saves us money. We don't have to patch sheetrock. Sheetrock, you can be in a house 2 to 3 days patching sheetrock, repainting. The flange trim kit, it's a 3-inch trim kit. So you have 3 inches of actually messing up something. Typically, if you print off a spec sheet from the Best Bath website, you can actually take it to the job site, make sure you have the right product, cut sheet, but you can print it off. First thing I do is we go in, we look at the measurements, and we mark out the drywall. Our guys know exactly what they're doing to go in and, put a level to where we're going to be, mark it all out, cut all the sheetrock out, and then, get it prepped for the shower. Consider removable thresholds. A lot of times we're in houses where, a lot of times we're in there because someone's got to come home from a hospital because they had knee surgery, or, we just got done doing a shower for a gentleman that lost both his legs. He lost a leg years and years ago, and then he lost his other leg to diabetes. So they were concerned about resale. And so we sold them a removable threshold, and it's in the closet. And when they're ready to resell their house, if they do, then we're going to come back in and put it back in for them. So it's, knowing some of those extra things are kind of nice to have as far as knowledge. Choosing composite over tile. I rip out a lot of tile showers. Nobody ever regrouts. Nobody ever reseals. If I do a tile shower, we use powered grout. It's got the sealer built right into it. So, but we tear a lot of tile out, and we put a lot of Best Baths in where they're at, because the maintenance, you don't have any maintenance on it. We actually give each customer a bottle of Rain-X with the shower, so they can Rain-X the walls. And basically, you don't have the soap scum and the buildup. You can Rain-X the valve. A lot of times if you go into places with hard water, the valves get all gummed up. But Rain-X works wonders for the shower systems. And then one of the things I've stressed over the years to people I've trained is hiring a licensed plumber. It's tremendous, the savings. You save time. If you have a leak, they go out and fix it. There's just lots of advantages to having a licensed plumber on hand. Keeping the homeowner involved is really important, I feel, in the design process and in the construction process. Because a lot of times people are concerned about what was back behind their shower when you're ripping out a tile shower that's been leaking for years. So a lot of times what we do is we'll tear the shower out, go get the customer if they're there, bring them in, show them that everything's okay, so that they have a peace of mind knowing after the Best Bath product or any other products in there that it's good and everything was done correctly. If there's some bad insulation and it's wet and nasty, we rip it out and replace it. We document with photos before, after, during. We do that for the homeowners too, in case they want to see a photo of what was there or whatever, or it's nice to have that. Plus, we use it for a lot of our social media. We ask a lot of questions. You can't ask too many questions. What's, as far as, do you need grab bars later on? What do you, so I think asking a lot of questions pays off in the long run, because they have peace of mind when you leave their house. And then making the connections. One of the things we do is we leave a magnet or a pin just so they can follow up with us. if they need anything else, because we don't just do bathrooms. You know, we do HVAC, we do refinishing, and you know, we like to. I literally will call my customers about a week later just to see if everything's working fine and give them some maintenance tips. Maybe they hadn't asked me the right questions at the time, but we do like to follow up and, you know, give tips, take lots of photos. As I said before, we post a lot of photos on social media. If you look at our Facebook page, you'll see, you know, videos, before and afters, and, you know, we're proud of what we do. We're proud of our quality. So is there any questions that I can answer, or maybe something that you've been thinking about during this program?
Yeah, we have a couple of questions for you, Marcus. One question was, what is your fair pricing for a project like the one shown in this presentation?
This shower with dual valves, this was a $7,200 project, or right around $7,200 out the door. And we did it in 5 hours. But the product is fairly spendy. You know, it's a good product. It's 30-year. It's going to last them. They're never going to have to replace it. If you put a cheaper product or a less expensive product that's going to fall apart, you know, that's one of the things I talk about when I sell the product is I want this product to last you. I don't want to be back here in 3 years replacing this. And so that's one of the things that really helps in selling our product.
Okay, another question we had was, do you also install barrier-free showers or the remodel, or just the remodeler pans? So maybe talk about when you would use one over the other.
Yes, we do barrier-free and we do remodeler pans. It just really depends on the situation. Sometimes you have, you know, a customer that needs the barrier-free product, but they want to resell their house. So that's when that removable threshold comes in. But yes, we do that quite often, actually.
Okay, someone has a question about your crew. How many and what does your crew do to complete a 5-hour project?
We have 3 to possibly 4 guys on a crew. That's with the plumber, basically. So we'll come in, you know, everybody has their job. One guy will mark the shower out, start cutting it out. One guy will start, you know, or the sheetrock. One guy will start pulling the shower doors if there's doors. We pretty much have, you know, everybody has their own job. And so it's really efficient and consistent.
Okay. Also, a couple questions about the initial site visits or your consultation. What are some typical questions that you are asked, and how long do you spend on a site visit? We also have a question on if you usually close on a consultation.
Yeah. So the typical questions that come up are, you know, how long is this going to take? Because there's a lot of bathrooms and those ranch style homes and things like that where there's only one bathroom. So you have to get in and out. And that's where this product really shines, is when you have one bathroom, you know, you need to get someone in and out. And so that's one question. And cost, you know, the cost is probably number one, actually, because right up front, they want to know what it's going to cost. And we do so many of these. If I look at a bathroom, I can tell them pretty much this is what, you know, and so you don't waste a lot of time also, because you're not going back and forth. You just tell them. And a lot of times if you're out of their budget, you're out of their budget. And if you're not, then, you know, a lot of times you close the deal right then. I'm going to say, and I'm not that great of a salesman, but I typically close probably 90% of my jobs at the job. I'll walk out of the house with a deposit so that I can order a shower. And, you know, one of the things I'll say right up front, I never let a customer pay me everything up front, ever, because I don't want to be that guy known as the guy that took their money and ran, you know. So in case something goes wrong, or, you know, you can't get your product in time, or you can't get a plumber that day, a lot of times I do 50% down, and basically we just kind of, you know, wait to get the job done, and then we get paid the final.
Great. A couple questions here regarding your marketing strategies. One question is, aside from your social media, what other ways do you market yourself?
One of the things we do, and I get a lot of calls from it, is we've gone in, and if you go to my page, you'll see our trucks and stuff. And we basically, I like a clean, nice vehicle, so we don't look like we're working out of our trucks. And it basically, you know, I put 1-day showers on the back and on the side of my trucks, and I get a lot of calls from that. We actually have just recently joined with Valpak. They're a mailing company, and we joined them in March just to pick up some more business. So we were doing a lot of projects and out of state. We didn't want to do that anymore. So we joined with Valpak, and within the first week, we had 3 phone calls. Closed my first job actually yesterday. And so it's paid for my whole month of marketing. And so anything else that comes through is all gravy. So that's pretty much it with social media. We just barely got a website, and it basically was more or less to legitimize so we don't look like we're working out of our trucks.
Awesome. Let's see, a couple questions on installation. One was, do you have a special caulking gun for getting the epoxy out of the tubes? I know that was something that we talked about during the project. So do you want to touch on that?
One of the things we do first thing is, especially if I know the water's going to be shut off, is I fill the sink with hot water and I just drop the tubes of epoxy in there. Or we put a hole in the box that the epoxy comes in, and we throw a blow dryer in the top of it to warm it up. If you warm it up, you really don't need a special caulking gun. You can buy the, you know, cordless caulking guns. Makita sells one if you don't have time to warm it up. But really, if you just warm up the epoxy, it comes out really easy. And Home Depot sells like a 12-to-1 caulking gun that's a little better than your typical cheap, you know, metal one. That they have one that has a spring-loaded piece, and it just makes it a lot easier.
Okay, another question. How do you cut around the window of a best bath shower?
Typically, I'll tape it with blue tape where I'm going to cut it, and then we use a diamond saw. So we use a 4-inch diamond blade on a grinder. We'll cut through just the gel coat, you know, we'll cut through the fiberglass portion of it, and then we use a Sawzall or a skill saw or whatever to just cut the wood.
Okay, another question. What is the most effective way to remove porcelain tubs?
Porcelain tubs or cast iron tubs?
Says porcelain, but maybe touch on both.
Cast iron tubs, we sledgehammer them out. We're doing one today, which I hate, but there's a lot of them in the older part of town here. So sledgehammer is, but they do make a nice blade, a Sawzall blade, where they're more spendy, but you can cut right through the cast iron. Porcelain tubs, the steel tubs, they come right out. But if you're referring to cast iron, that we just hammer them out with a big sledgehammer.
Okay. Someone said, I found the trim kit doesn't work on all jobs. What do you use in lieu of them? If you use any.
There's a couple items. So we use the flange trim kits. We just trim them down if I don't know why a flange trim kit wouldn't work. The window trim kits, I use a PVC trim. It's just a waterproof material that I use. You can get it up to 5.5 inches, so you can trim it down, run it through a table saw, cut it real clean. This particular photo that's up is actually a PVC trim. Only because a lot of times when you're doing the larger windows, you can't get the best bath window trim kit large enough, and I don't like the way it looks. But we use that, and you can use PVC trim around the flanges as well, but a lot of times it sticks past the best bath wall a little bit, so it looks kind of corny, cheesy.
All right, a couple questions regarding what you charge your customer and how much your plumber charges you?
Well, here, a typical valve move and drain cost me on average probably $600. That's them hooking up the drain and moving the valve. 2 valves is probably going to be around 700. That's me. So I supply the valves. I buy a lot of valves, and so that's typical. It's just, you know, I know some of the states are ridiculous. I know in Massachusetts, it was really expensive. So it was kind of crazy, but yeah, we typically about $700, and you know, you just got to adjust your price to where you're comfortable with making your margin. Really, I mean, you know, and sometimes it costs me a little more than that. It just depends on how long they spend, but it's really what you have to make to cover your overhead. I mean, if it's $1,000 a day, if it's $2,000 a day, you just got to kind of figure out what you want to do and what's going to cover your overhead.
Awesome. Another install question. How do you set your shower pan while working on the walls?
Well, what we typically do on like a barrier-free unit, if that's what you're referring to, because you don't have to glue the residential base down, we will basically set the weight plate inside of it, or we make a weight plate. We'll set some weight in it, and then you're fine. You can walk on it. You don't have to, you know, plus a lot of these units are only 32, you know. When you're doing a 60 by 48 shower, it's tough because you're going to have to walk. But if you put weight plates in it and you wait, then you're fine. We put bags of sand in it so that we can stand on them. A lot of people fill buckets of water. It just takes up too much room in the shower. We'll put a bag of sand in it, and then you can continue working. We've never had an issue. We've never had a bad installation as far as not draining or anything like that. But I know that's one thing that people talk about a lot, is they're worried about, you know, stepping in the shower. But you can work around it as long as you have weight in it and you have the weight plates that Best Bath sends. Or you can create a weight plate. If you're not sure what that is, I'm sure you can send it to Best Bath and they'll show you what it is. But it's basically 2 2x4s angled towards wherever the drain is, and then you put a flat piece of plywood or OSB or something on it, and then you just put your weight on it.
Great, thank you. A lot of questions regarding inspections and permits. I'm sure that it's different state by state. Do you want to address kind of how that affects you here in Idaho, or?
Hi, Deborah. I miss you. Inspections. A lot of times when you're pulling a shower in and out, it doesn't require that, but I know some states are different. Don't, you know, go and check with your, with who you're working with. Our plumbers are well known. They're a large company. So a lot of times they'll just take a picture of their plumbing and what they've done, and the inspector will just sign off on it and pass off on it. That's basically how we get past that. And then, like I said, sometimes when you're pulling a shower out and you're putting a shower back in, it doesn't require that. As long as you're not, you know, changing the plumbing someplace else, moving it around.
Okay. If required, what do you do to level the subfloor underneath the pan, specifically with a barrier-free pan?
We're blessed here in Idaho to not have a bunch of issues. I've talked to some of the dealers for Best Bath. I still get phone calls from some of my buddies that, you know, I've worked with, or guys that are out in other states that I've met. And some of those jobs that's a loaded question, because we don't have the issues that I've seen in Ohio and Tennessee and other states where the house is falling into the ground and, you know, you're 2 inches out of whack. Because if your subfloor, you know, if your subfloor is 2 inches down on the back right corner, you have a bigger issue than trying to level the floor. But I know that sometimes you have to deal with that stuff. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with it much, but you can buy floor leveler. But if you're literally, a lot of times, if you're that far out of whack, then your shower is going to literally set that far out of whack. So it screws everything up. It's very difficult. Loaded question. Hopefully that was enough.
Okay. Do you use box trucks for your crew?
Yes. Yeah, we have one. I mean, it really, I prefer trailers. Personally, it's easier to work out of. We do use box trucks though. We've got one, and it was just there's so much room in it. You end up um, you end up putting garbage in there, and it piles up. We have a nice long box Dodge pickup on one crew with a 14-foot trailer, and all the garbage goes in the truck, and it just keeps everything nice and clean.
Awesome. When it comes to conducting your consultation in the home with your customer, do you like to use samples of certain shower options or cultured marble and let the customer decide, or do you prefer to kind of direct them into one way or another based on what their needs are?
I don't try to direct them anyway. I want them to tell me what they want, and basically, I'll give them some options. And to be perfectly honest, they're all really similar in cost, so I don't really. It doesn't matter to me what they want. I just want to know what that's why those questions come in. What are you looking to do? First thing, if it's an oddball shape or something, I know Best Bath can make special sizes and, move drains, and they do some custom stuff, but a lot of times people want it done right now. That's why they're calling. And so I try to do, obviously we try to sell Best Bath first, to be honest with you, just because we can get in and out so quick. But and then cultured marble sometimes is out 4 to 8 weeks. Tile guys are so busy; they're out 4 to 8 weeks. So if somebody doesn't want to wait, this is a great solution. But I don't really try to push them either way. But I do have great samples. We show the tile recess in case they want to do some nice tile, but they don't want the maintenance. Yeah, we just kind of want them to have what they want and what's going to work for them.
All right. And then there's a question. Do you like to be the first person in front of the customer or last? Knowing you, it's probably both.
I'm both. I do. I go in, I sell the job, and then I'm the last one in, showing them how to operate the shower valves, going over what they need. Rarely am I not ever the last person in front of the customer, just because I sold it. I'm the one responsible for it. I need to make sure that they're happy. And so, yeah, I first and last.
And then there's a question about keeping inventory of Best Bath. You have a unique situation because you're so close to our factory, but do you have any insight on if you recommend that for other dealers?
I have a shower in stock right now, actually, that by accident, but I have one. So when I go to sell it, it'll be a quick turnaround. But if I weren't so close to Best Bath and being able to just drive up and load it in my trailer, I would probably keep one on hand, of a 60-32 and a 60-30, if that's your most popular sizes that you're doing. As far as from a barrier-free aspect, I know that they have the Need It Now product, so it comes to you quick, no matter what state you're in. So instead of me having to wait 9 days, someone being on the East Coast, I get it in 4 to 5 days or whatever it is. So we're about a week out typically. But I would definitely, if you're selling quite a few of them, or if that's a big need, is being able to get in and out quick, I would definitely keep one in stock or two.
Okay, and then we talked a lot about how quickly you can install a composite shower and the benefits of that. Can you also touch on how long it would typically take you to install a custom tile shower?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we do tile. I don't do a lot of it when we do it. My tile guys are really good too. We don't do the tile work. We actually sub that out. But our tile guy's great, and he's literally out like a week. So they typically are in there. The last one we did was pretty large, but they were 12 by 24 tiles, and he was there 3 days, I think. By the time he set the base, mortar set the base, and then put all the tile on and grouted. So it just, it's not a huge deal. When they're doing tile, that's pretty quick, I think. But I've seen tile jobs stretch out 5-6 days where, it's just how some guys do their tile work, I guess.
And then touching back on the marketing, a couple questions about if you utilize any SEO or if you just use Facebook or any other social media platforms.
I occasionally, like, we're really busy. We do three bathrooms a week probably. And some of them are actually larger remodels. So we're maybe going in and, we're putting walls in, and those are, the larger jobs that we're doing. So, so I'll have like one of those going a week while I'm doing the 1-day deals or the 2-day, whatever it ends up being. So we're pretty busy, but the SEO stuff, I just literally barely got a website just to more or less be more legitimized. And I've done some marketing with Facebook, and it's really inexpensive. And I thought I got some pretty good results out of it. But because you reach a lot of people for nearly nothing, just even if they just see your photos and stuff. But we don't do a lot of that right now. We don't need to. We're really busy.
And what percentage of your business would you say is referral?
Gosh, referral is big. I mean, that's the best advertising you can get. We get, I've gone into, we've done, I remember I did a job for a guy that he was paralyzed. And we're really good, I'm really tight with their family now, but he was paralyzed, and I made his house accessible. We would put a ceiling track lift in it. We put a VPL in it. We did a lot of stuff. Had to make a huge shower for him so he could roll right in. And I've done both of his kids' houses, both of their bathrooms. We've done roof repairs. We've done so many other things for that family. And they've referred me to 3 or 4 other people that I've gotten jobs off of. So it's huge. Referrals, probably 60%. But one of the other things we do that, if you're not getting enough business, is we connect with the local showroom here. We do a lot of work for the local showroom. They're great to work with. They give us a lot of business. If you can, connect with some places that maybe need, the install. Maybe they need install and they don't have enough installers to do their work. Some of the local showrooms, get them some of your cards. We get work from one of the places I buy lumber from. They put us on their preferred remodelers list. So, it's really, referrals huge. And so, even if you're getting referrals from the local showroom that, that's around you that is doing marble or whatever, I think that's huge.
And then how many of your employees are sales, office, or admin staff?
Oh, let's see. I'm the only sales guy. And well, we have another guy that he'll go to jobs when I can't make it. But pretty much just me. We have three of us are owners, but we're owner operators. I mean, we go out and work quite often. And then we have an HVAC division, which, that's 7 or 8 of our guys right there. So, and we have basically one office gal, my wife, that does our invoicing and accounts receivable. Everybody else are employees.
Sorry about that. Question about if you have to cut your shower down because of the bulkhead, what do you finish your ceiling with?
Never had to do that yet. I've seen it where I've run into that out in the field with other customers. The nice thing about the Best Bath is it's so solid. And so, when you get it all put in, basically it's not going to move, so when you do have to cut the top down, I don't know, quarter round, probably, we've used quarter round. You can get that PVC. You can go to Home Depot right in the trim section. You can get PVC trim with the PVC quarter round that's waterproof. So you can put that up on there and it finishes it nice. But a lot of times, if you cut it with a diamond saw, you can cut it so clean, you can just put a bead of caulk up there. Honestly, that's one of the things we've done too.
Okay. And then a question that's kind of top of mind of anybody in the trade professional industry. Have you been impacted by the coronavirus? Are you still allowed in homes? And do you have any plans if you are unable to go into a job site?
So yes, of course, that's impacted everybody. We have 2 customers right now that they're on quarantine, so we're not actually able to go in and go into their houses right now. But which we're done with. Luckily, we're done with the work. Basically, there's a couple little minor touch-ups. But yeah, I see it affecting. We've had some jobs drop off because of it. The panic. But yeah, it's people are different. I see that it's spread pretty rapid over on the East Coast. It's not like that here, so we're not getting all that pushback right now. But I'm sure it's going to impact us.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Just a reminder to everyone still on with us, you will be receiving a recording of the webinar. If you have any questions that you think of after we end, feel free to email us at marketing@bestbath.com. We can also send out Marcus's social media platforms and his website, or even contact information. But other than that, Marcus, do you have anything else?
Nope.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody.
Reach out to me if you have any questions. You know how to get a hold of me, and if you don't, I'm sure Best Bath can get you my information.
And Debbie says she misses you.
I see it. I'll give her a hug for you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.